Hello, my friends. Kurt Berglund with you. It is Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. If you are a subscriber to my channel, maybe you saw the video that I posted on Sunday, the 23rd, talking about the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame vote that is going to be released today, the 25th. Well, in that video, I made some observations about the Hall of Fame, and I also told you who I would vote for among the players on the ballot if I had a vote. Well, today it is the day for the results, and so what we're going to be doing in this video is spending the next few minutes going over the results as they have been released by Major League Baseball. We'll talk about who got in and who didn't. But let's start with a look at the numbers, the vote totals from everyone, and then we will maybe draw some conclusions about what the voters may have been looking for and what they weren't looking for, and then where things are headed in the next year or two. We know, of course, this is the final year on the ballot for, I don't want to call them the big three, but three of the biggies, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Curt Schilling. So let's take a look and see how they did and everyone else that was on the ballot that we have the numbers for at this time, and see what you think. Be sure you let me know in your comments below what you think of the final ballot election process and what you think might happen next year. All right, so here we go with a look at the voting. Here are the results from tonight's award or election show on the MLB Network. And as you can see by looking at the totals, David Ortiz was the only member of the Hall of Fame to get in, or only member of the ballot to get into the Hall of Fame, 77.9%. The players without a percentage next to their name failed to reach 5%. The totals for everyone who did reach 5% are included on this sheet. I'm also going to put this a pic of this sheet on the Universal Baseball Association Facebook page, so you can check that out later if you would like to. Download it if you want. The players with asterisks by their name, they include Schilling, Bonds, Clemens, and Sosa, all in the left column. Those players are on their 10th and final year of the ballot. They now go to a committee to decide if they will go to the Veterans Committee. So there's a two-step process there. They don't automatically go to the Veterans Committee, but they could get chosen to go there by an intervening committee that would send those players for that consideration by the Veterans Committee. From what I'm watching tonight, Andrew Jones, Scott Rowland, and Todd Helton seem like the best chances to gain election next year from the folks that are already on the ballot. Omar Vizquel, I believe I heard, took the biggest fall. And Jeff Kent's numbers, for some, are disappointing as well. I said on Sunday that my ballot would have included Schilling, Rowland, Vizquel, Wagner, Helton, Pettit, and Rollins. And I don't know where I found Lincecum's number. I think I found Lincecum's number, although he didn't reach 5% either. But I found Lincecum's percentage number on the San Francisco Giants page. And now I'll give you my closing thoughts. First of all, thank you for checking in with my second Hall of Fame voting show. The first one was Sunday. And one thing that I do think is worth mentioning here, number one, is that there are a number of voters who submitted blank ballots. And I don't know how you get to a blank ballot with this group of folks to vote for. I wouldn't have filled my ballot either with 10, but 0 is ridiculous. And I think at some point, the baseball writers need to think about accountability for some of these bizarre types of behaviors by voters. That's number one. Number two, even the election of one person from this class, I think, is ridiculous. This class is a pretty strong group, I think. And for David Ortiz to be the only person to clear the 75% means that, to me, a lot of what I mentioned on Sunday is going on. And that is that the baseball writers, or at least a significant number of them, are taking it upon themselves to try and add, I don't know, status, esteem to the institution of the Hall of Fame by voting for very few players, or by raising their standards to such a level that hardly any players can reach it. And that is not now, nor has it ever been, what the Hall of Fame for baseball has been about. Like it or not, the Hall of Fame is about the top 1%. And the top 1% in baseball history is more than one player per ballot per season. Leaving to the side the other folks that were elected this time, if it were not for those special committees electing those players, like Buck O'Neil, Gil Hodges, Tony Oliva, and the rest, there would be one man representing Major League Baseball in the Hall of Fame this coming summer, and that's just not right. It's making the Hall of Fame more exclusive than it's ever been, in this sort of misguided notion of what the Hall of Fame used to be or was at one point. And it's frankly just wrong. So I think those writers need to so there's two groups of writers I think that are in need of some reflection. One is the group that isn't submitting any names from a ballot like this. And two is those who are submitting a ballot with only one or two names, and we get a result like this. It's not that David Ortiz is a bad selection. It's not that he's a good selection. It has nothing to do with David Ortiz. It has to do with the other 29 people that are on the ballot. It's not supposed to be this exclusive an institution. And yet some members of the voting group from the baseball writers are treating it that way. It's wrong. I think it hurts the game. And it definitely hurts the players who are worthy of induction. Now for next year, we're looking at Rolen, the top candidates, as being Rolen, Helton, and Andrew Jones. And there's plenty of time to debate their credentials. I think Rolen should have gotten in this year, but regardless, and I think Helton should have gotten in this year. But regardless, we can debate Andrew Jones, and maybe I'll come around to agreeing with those that think that Andrew Jones is a worthy Hall of Fame selection. We'll see how that shakes out. In the meantime, it's David Ortiz for 2022. Thank you. Let me know your thoughts on the Ortiz selection and any other players that you think should have made it, and in the comments below. Thanks for being with me, and I hope you have a good evening. So long, everybody.